Hi and welcome to our OPV 222 cellfilm that is based on the principles of inclusive education to create a supportive learning environment in a classroom. So I'll firstly explain what inclusive education is. Therefore, according to my own research, I will say inclusive education is the educational process that ensures that all learners, including those with disabilities, participate equally in the teaching and learning process.
I'll be answering the first question, which is how we can include inclusive education in our classroom as teachers. The ways that we as teachers should include inclusive education in the classroom is by including the learners in the lesson, because after all, inclusive education is all about including the learners in our activities that take place in the classroom, no matter what their race, gender, or disability. We as teachers should find ways to let every learner be part of the lesson or the activity related to the lesson. We as teachers should not let any learner that is in the classroom feel excluded or feel like they are unable to take part in a lesson or activity because of their disability. Ollie Ryan wrote an article on the 2nd of March 2022 where he speaks about the 12 strategies that we as teachers could use to create an environment for inclusive education for learners. These strategies include: we as teachers need to define the minimum standard of behavior for all learners. Then, we need to make sure that we enforce these standards of behavior at all times. We would also need to deal with some low level of disruption, but in a sensitive way. We also need to create opportunities for ourselves to listen to the learners and their problems. We need to develop a scaffolding approach to learning for the learners. We need to be aware of specific needs for every child in the classroom. We also need to provide support for the learners in ways that will benefit all the learners in the classroom, not just a single learner. We need to create a calm and purposeful environment for the learners to learn. We need to clearly display important information for the learners. We need to use pre-assessment forms to help us with our planning. We need to let the learners choose how they want to show us what they have learned. And lastly, we should not compare the progress of one learner to another. The next question I'll be answering is how we can include the disabled learners in our classroom. Learners with disabilities are also learners in our classrooms. We as teachers should not see these learners as anything different, no matter what their disability is. We should also make sure that these learners feel part of or are included in our classroom or lesson activity. It could be as simple as asking them a fun question about the lesson that we are doing, or even ask them to help us with something. Their disability should not hinder them within the classroom. Another way to help a learner feel included as well as make them feel like the teacher is there to assist the learner with anything is give the learner one-on-one time. Make learners with disabilities feel part of the lesson in a special way. It might not mean as much to us as teachers, but it will mean quite a lot to the learners and will also make them feel special. And this will build up their courage and confidence that can only benefit the learner as they go along in their journey. It could also make a massive impact to this learner's journey. It is the small things in life that will help these learners. Thank you.
The model used in inclusive schools is the social model of disability. The social model of disability should be adopted within schools because this is the models schools use to implement inclusive education. This model is important because it does not isolate learners with challenges or who are different. They are not seen as problematic learners in this model. Within this model, medical professionals are used to assess learners and help to identify their needs, to accommodate them and remove barriers that limit effective teaching and learning. Supportive structures to use. It's very vital to use supportive structures to help implement and improve the quality of inclusive education. There are many supportive structures to use to implement inclusive education. Using special schools as resource centers is a great way to get training support to teachers, curriculums, and resources. Full service schools help other schools to meet the diverse needs of each learner across neighborhoods and communities. They also provide important knowledge and information as well as assistive devices to accommodate learners and teachers. Department-based supportive teams have a range of professionals to help provide assistance to aid the implementation of inclusive education. This is the department that uses the medical experts and professionals to diagnose learners and to help come up with solutions to include them in the learning environment to create a supportive environment for learners.